of this initiative. And we currently have 7 teams developed now with over 195 people that have joined the teams. And we are currently up to over $4,000 that we have raised in just this short period of time. So
in about a week, I would say.
Yeah, that's just phenomenal. And I think this is something the American Heart Association is near and dear to everybody. At some point in time, it has impacted all of us in our personal lives. And we probably all have someone that we're either related to or know of that is a survivor of some form of heart disease. I personally walk. I have a great niece that was born last year with a heart defect and almost passed away within 7 days. She was airlifted down to Riley's in Indianapolis and has undergone 2 heart surgeries. She spent the first 90 days of her life in the hospital. And through the experience at Riley's and the research and development that has happened over this type of heart disease, she has progressed and done phenomenally well and just celebrated her first birthday on August 17th. So that's why I walk. So on that note, I would like to pass it back over to you, Erin.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Marcia. It really brings our mission to life. And you know, why are we here? Why do we do this? And your great niece is why. So thank you so much for sharing that. Bruce, I'd like, since we have such an intimate group, I'd like to, you know, when you hear American Heart Association, you know, who comes to mind for you? I'll just open it up.
Back when I was at ISG, and we were involved actually with the Heart Walk, I had one of my strand operators who was a cantankerous fellow, to say the least, had just a massive heart attack on the cast floor, and we had a AED up there, and he was able to be revived. He survived that. You know, he had surgery, and he came back, and he became one of the biggest, not only supporters of what we were doing with the Heart Walk, but also just I would say a changed man. And he was in his late 50s, always angry at the world. And I had been talking to him for some time about, hey, you know, life's not so bad. And that stuck with me. I think, you know, for, you know, the rest of my entire career in life, just the change when people really see the work that we do with the Heart Association and how it truly touches everybody. And, you know, a lot of folks, you know, think they're impervious to it, especially in the profession that I've chosen. We still have a lot of folks that, you know, think they're invincible, no matter whether they're male or female or how young or old they are. And I think when folks get involved, it really helps bring all that home. And so it's been quite a wonderful experience for me.
Thank you, Bruce. Wow. I can't even imagine seeing all that take place too. You know, you hear the stories of someone coming back to life and getting a second chance at life. So thank you for sharing that. Again, just bringing our mission to life and why we do what we do. And so well said about people thinking they're invincible, especially the industrial guys that we talk to day in and day out. You know, oh, I don't know anyone that's been touched. Oh, but I'm on blood pressure medication, or I'm on cholesterol pills. And, you know, I mean, it all comes together for them in different ways. So just so well said. I mean, it touches no matter, you know, your sex, race, religion, age. You know, Marcia's great niece, you know, I mean, she's been fighting for her life since she was born. So all different stages of life. So well said. Thank you both again for sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. We're going to, let me see. We're going to just go through, like I said, it's going to look a lot different this year, the Heart Walk being virtual. But you guys, as a company, have always been a very online, tech savvy, all about the Heart Walk mobile app, you know, online fundraising. So I don't see this being a huge shift for you guys. It just opens more opportunities. So, I mean, as we all just shared in this small group, you know, what is the heart association about? Why is your help needed? And the scary statistics that every 40 seconds, someone out there is having a heart attack. You know, they might not know their risk factors. They might not know how to live a healthy life, and these things happen. You know, and stroke, nearly 800,000 people experience a stroke each year. And you know, some are deathly, some, you know, you could walk away the next day from the hospital. There's all different kinds. And just raising the awareness, and that's what the Heart Walk is all about, you know, raising the awareness, having these conversations with your friends and family, sharing who you're walking for and why. And people want to support people, not necessarily an organization. So you know, you as a team leader of the US Steel team really want to share your story, and that's how we'll grow it bigger. And so just, you know, we're living in different times right now. I have to touch on the AHA is definitely on the front lines of this whole pandemic with COVID-19. And we're so proud as an organization to say that we've invested $2.5 million in rapid research for COVID-19, because as you've seen, I'm sure in the news, cardiovascular, you know, people with cardiovascular issues are at risk for COVID-19, and their recovery looks different, their symptoms look different. And so we're on the front lines, you know, trying to figure this out as much as possible as well. You know, in addition to that, addressing social and health disparities. So like our youth market, for example, if you guys have kiddos or nephews or nieces that are in school, it's how do we get them still being active when they're not at school? We have our healthy toolkits that we've been working with parents to make sure that, you know, the childhood obesity rate doesn't spike during this pandemic. And then the last one there, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on your screen, I gotta move ours over, reducing teen e-cigarette use. So there's been a lot of studies and articles lately about people's smoking habits also increasing, especially during this pandemic. People are at home, they have more time, but the teen e-cigarette use was a big focus of ours before this pandemic, and still continues to be, with a $20 million investment towards smoking cessation programs for teens specifically. So that's just kind of what AHA has been up to over, I would say these have been big focuses over the past year. So I wanted you guys to know that as well. This slide was basically, you know, sharing again, we had such a small group. So we started with why do you participate? Why do you participate in the Heart Walk? Why do you raise funds? And you all shared so sensitively. So again, thank you for that. And I'll show you, you know, how you can further share your story on our Heart Walk pages in a meaningful way. At this moment in time, I'll kick it over to Diane, because I know US Steel has quite a history with the American Heart Association. So Diane?
Well, thanks. You know, as I was listening to Bruce, and please pardon the big dog in the background if you hear him barking. Sometimes he gets a little rambunctious. Of course, he's going to do that when it's my turn to share. You know, when Bruce talked a little bit about some people think that they're, you know, immune to cardiovascular challenges, I recall specifically one of the campaigns we launched, and it was right around 2004, 2005. And we started it through ISG, and Bruce, you probably recall perhaps the campaign where we did the "You're not made of steel, you only make it." And to help people understand in the industrial sector that, you know, you could be this tough guy that works in the steel industry, but if you start to peel the layers back, your cardiovascular system is probably just as likely to be attacked, if not more likely to be attacked by a cardiovascular challenge, because in the industry you have somewhat a higher level of individuals who believe they are abiding by cardiovascular exercise or a regimen. They think, well, I go to work, that's my exercise, and that's not the case. We know that. It needs to be an elevated heart rate at 30 minutes. Smokers, higher level of smokers, you got some bag lunches, you got some quick cheeseburger lunches. And so, yes, it really makes a difference to empower people, especially in the steel industry and industrial sector, to understand So we did that quite a bit through this history. If we go back to the 05, 06 year, I will have to say that is actually some of the competition that was between the two plants, ISG, Arcelor at the time, and then the US Steel plant. So Bruce probably remembers these numbers and smiles when he sees them. And then as we continue through the year, it was always some engagement that was there. The key is an early start and getting the blessing from the top. And in this case, we have that through Dan's leadership. And now with Bruce Blackback, I will tell you, it will be unstoppable. So that's a quick snip of the US Steel history. Erin, I'll kick it back to you if I may.
Thank you, Diane. And yes, like Marcia noted, congratulations on the success so far. Almost 200 walkers, almost $5,000 raised, and that's within a week. So we have all of September, very exciting, leading up to the Heart Walk Day. I know there's going to be many recognitions on our virtual event on being held on Facebook. So more to come. But just a breakdown of what the day will look like on Saturday, September 19th for our celebration. So really, the Heart Walk has turned into a month-long experience with a celebration on the 19th. So this gives you an opportunity to get recognized in front of the community. It'll be a Zoom format like we're doing right now. So I encourage you to share your videos that morning at 10 a.m. on Saturday. There will be some opening remarks from our chair, Jean-Louis from Arcelor Middle, and highlights of Lake and Porter County, awards, recognitions, and, you know, seeing where everyone's walking, because we would normally gather at the fairgrounds or gather at Coffee Creek together. So we want to see where your walk route is that morning, and really infuse the fun, wear, you know, an old US Steel t-shirt that you have, and really represent, encouraging everyone to take photos throughout the day and throughout the days leading up to the walk. You can submit them to me, or we have a Northwest Indiana Heart Walk email address noted here. We have our Facebook event page. So lots of opportunity to share your photos and really be one with the community and share, again, why are you walking? You know, that's when that's when the stories come to life is, you know, you might get comments, hey, I know so-and-so, how are they doing? Or, you know, it's just, I think it gives us an opportunity with this virtual platform to be more of a community together and get to know each other and get to know who comes to the Heart Walks year after year. So it'll be exciting. I'll be sure to give you guys the link to the Facebook event page directly because we've already had some action on there with survivors sharing their stories. I know I posted a picture of my child and my dog before we went on our walk because they're a part of my team Crawford. So it'll be fun. So some examples, I don't think we have time to dive into these right now, but I will share these screenshots and I'll share the links for you guys to see, like, how does a virtual Heart Walk look? So we have some successful examples from Twin Cities and St. Louis who held their Heart Walks in the spring in the midst of when the pandemic was taking place in April and May. And so you can see that they gave shout outs and special recognitions to top walkers who raised over $1,000. You know, Bruce, you're already one of those. You'll be seeing your name a lot. You know, special recognitions to teams. You can see there's some fun collage apps, which I know are in our virtual toolkit and social media guides as well on how you can create those. So maybe you walk every day leading up to the Heart Walk. Well, you can have a collage of 19 photos there, you know, September 1st through the 19th, just your different walk routes and maybe different t-shirts, who knows. So it just gives you an opportunity to share again, you know, what's going on. And also opportunity to, if you guys know or have a survivor, you know, a US Steel employee that's a survivor, let me know if they'd like to share their story. Sorry, I have a dog in the background too. Let me know if they'd like to share their story because we can highlight them in a very special way. So that's a glimpse of that at the bottom right of the screen. They can share their story and kind of what they've been doing to stay active during COVID-19. So again, you know, infusing the fun. And I won't go over all this. I'm going to actually hop onto the website because all of this is in the virtual toolkit and social media guide, which I believe, Marcia, you said you shared already with everyone. So I just kind of wanted to dig into, thank you again for sharing that. I just wanted to dig into, we'll hop over to that, but really, you know, a quick start. And Bruce, I know you're already off to a great start, but it's important for people to register, which we have a lot registered, but also make their personal gift. You know, yes, I can be a name on the website, but what does it mean to me? And what's that level of support I can give? The second step is going to be recruit more walkers. You know, think about people outside US Steel, your friends, your family. A great way to recruit more walkers is using the HeartWalk mobile app, which you just type in HeartWalk on your app store, and it's the first one that comes up. You'll see our logo. I'm really excited because they just launched an activity tracker, so that's a fun way to kind of have that friendly competition with your teammates and say, hey, I walked 3 miles today. What did you do? So there's a fitness tracker. There's opportunity to text and email your teammates and others to recruit them. It's just become so simple. It would make it hard for you not to raise a couple $1,000s. I'll just say that, because it's done in a very meaningful way all through the mobile app now. So that's the second step, recruit, and then rally. So starting Facebook fundraisers, scheduling posts for LinkedIn. Again, this is all in your virtual toolkit, but you know, that's really, again, where it comes to life. It's, you can create your page, but what then do you do with it? Do you get on your mobile app and text 20 people from your phone? And I will say, I've had a way better response with texting versus emailing. Not saying emailing doesn't work, but 99% of people's text messages are read versus 60% of emails. So I just want you to keep that in mind moving forward too. And you might want to save your reaching out for friends and family for September 1st, because that's our citywide rally day. So a lot of recognitions, a lot of activity going on our Facebook event page on September 1st. It's just another opportunity to come together as a community, and let's rally together on this specific day to kick off HeartWalk month. And so my challenge to every coach is recruit 24 additional walkers in 24 hours on September 1st. So Bruce, I know you could do it. Marsha, I know you could do it. You could be crowned the king or queen of Northwest Indiana Rally Day. So some fun incentive, more to be shared on that, but mark your calendar for that to send out all your text blasts that day. So again, just a little bit about the HeartWalk mobile app. Again, since we have such a small group, I want to get feedback. Marsha or Bruce, have you gotten a chance to download the mobile app yet?
Yes, I have. It works great.
Perfect. Thanks, Bruce.
I have as well. I used it last year when we walked as well.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, make sure you update it. I do want to say that because, again, they just came out with the activity tracker last week. So make sure it's updated, ready to go. As you both can tell, it's very user-friendly. So thank you again for downloading that. And show your teammates how to do it. You know, once you show them how to send that first text message, they're going to be like, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought, guaranteed. I like that you can, you know, totally personalize your HeartWalk page from there as well. You know, most of us don't have photos downloaded onto our computers. They're all on our phone. So I did everything on my page this year from the mobile app. So make sure you're comfortable with that. The Facebook fundraising, this is, it can be done from your mobile phone or, you know, your computer, but there's always options and you'll see pop-ups. You want to connect your campaign to your Facebook. And so just clicking yes and getting it registered and connecting it is the first couple steps. So it's very self-explanatory. I'm not going to spend much time on that slide. I did want to highlight the reward center. So in the past, we used to give out prizes after the HeartWalk. So your t-shirts and whatever, you know, level you reached, you would get rewards. Well, now it's a kind of an instant gratification. So if I gave a $100 donation, I'd get an email right away asking, do you want to cash in your points now or later for a reward? So I just wanted to note that I think you have to hop on the computer and you have to be logged in on the computer versus the mobile app to see the reward center. Again, great incentive for your walkers. Everyone likes prizes, you know, that goes back to our elementary school days, but it works. It's there's even a CPR kit. So Bruce, I know that's very special to you as you've seen an AED in action. there's a CPR kit that's one of the reward levels, and to use in different departments, I think would be really cool to see you guys get some of those. So wanted to point that out. So what's next? You know, you guys are off to a great start. Again, we touched on the citywide rally day coming up September 1st. So try to get out there and recruit one walker today, help them get registered. You guys are really leading the way. I mean, like I said, I know we have a small group today, but it's a mighty group with you all on here. And we're going to give a lot of special recognitions to teams that are raising the most and recruiting the most via social media on September 1st. So I know I went over a lot, but I wanted to leave a couple minutes for question and answer. So I'm going to open it back up, and I did see we had one more person join. If you'd like to come off mute, whoever joined, to let us know who's there, I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is Zach from US Steel.
I'm sorry, what was the name?
Zach Blady.
Hi, Zach, welcome.
Thank you.
And this is also being recorded, so don't worry, I'm not sure when you hopped in, but we'll make sure you get the full presentation. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, I couldn't download Zoom, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I know they have that one touch where you can call in too, so thanks for joining us. Any questions that I can answer? Or comments or feedback?
No, I'm all set there, and I think it's I think the way we have it set up is great. It's very user friendly. This is it's a lot easier than when we did it before. That's for sure.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for trusting the system too. You know, like I said, people, especially your walkers or my friends and family, I'm like, did you download the mobile app? They're like, what? And, you know, I share it with them. They're like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm going to do so much more now because it's so easy. So thank you for, you know, gravitating towards that and being willing to share it with others. All right. So I just, again, you know, this is being recorded. I'll make sure you have the slide deck with, I know it was packed with information. I'm here to help you guys. I want you to be successful. I also, like Marcia said, I'm kind of techie when it comes to, you know, if something's not working with the website or the mobile app, we can figure it out. So I just want everyone to be comfortable with utilizing the tools. We can also support, you know, if you think your team it would be beneficial to have a kickoff presentation similar to what we just did, but with your team members, I'm more than willing to do it in smaller groups as well. So we have the flexibility to do that all in this virtual space. And, you know, just all the materials, anything you need and more. If you have some fun ideas, I know you guys are having internal competition, but for example, because of, you know, all the beauty shops were closed, we had a guy that had really long hair at NIPSCO, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna raise some money for people picking out my next haircut, and he raised almost $1,000 just by people voting for the George Costanza haircut is the one that won. So we'll have some fun along the way. But that's all I have right on schedule. We have one more minute left because I want to be mindful of your time and your talent and your resources, but I will give you that 1 minute left if you all don't have anything else.
Thank you.